Okay, so since I was out here and I did a video on pulling the doe's hair there for winter time if they're needed, I thought I would go ahead and run this quick video with it. In my last video I talked about Payday and how he got third at nationals in the senior buck class. I want to talk about how he was actually a 6'8" at the time, and I bumped him up to senior because when you had to turn in the your entry form, he was like 9'10", something like that. So I thought, in a few weeks he could go over 10, and then he wouldn't be able to show, because if an intermediate buck is over his ideal weight, and for New Zealand's that is 10, as a senior buck your ideal weight is 10, minimum 9, maximum 11. The ideal is 10. So if he went over 10 as a 6'8", then he'd have had to have been shown as a senior, and I wouldn't have been able to bump him then. So I went ahead and put him in the senior buck class just in case he did make 10. Well, he ended up being like 9'13" or 14 or something like that by the time the show came around. So he was actually an intermediate and still within intermediate weight, but still got third in the senior buck class. So lots of times, I guess my point is, lots of times you'll have to show your bucks and does up a class, which, you know, I don't really like doing it because you have to, but I don't really like it to be that way, so I try to avoid it by my timing of my breeding, which I'm about to talk about. But whenever you're showing as a senior and he's actually a 6'8", you know, in my mind the judge would think, well, he's already a senior, he's maxed out with his 6'8", he's still got potential. That kind of thought process, not saying that's what it is, but you know, it could happen. And plus you're talking about an animal that's a month, 2 months more immature body wise than something that could be, you know, you're talking something that's 7 months competing with something that's 12 months, you know, in that same class for size and overall whatever, you know. You get what I'm saying with it. But so there's just times you're gonna have to bump stuff up. And what I want to talk about is when you're breeding for, say, a certain show, and you want those juniors to be that right just under 6 months. You want them as big as possible. Well, you'll find when you breed them to be 5.5 months old, I think he's stretching out like crazy. When you find them you want to breed them and have them 5.5 months old, and you're backing up your breeding, and you're counting to when that's going to be, you'll find more often than not, at least with me, when I get 5.5 month olds at a show, they're over 9 pounds. And for New Zealand's bucks or does, juniors cannot be over 9 pounds. So you had to bump them up to the 6'8" class, which is very competitive usually. So what I'm saying is, I'm trying to find to where I have that sweet spot around 5 months old. So about 5 months back, and then I breed them, and then they'll be knocking on that 9 pound door. And just something that's been working for me, and I just wanted to share it with you all. And something to think about. You know, you get them maxed out, but then they go over the weight limit. So I'll just cover those weight limits real quick for those of you that do not know. Juniors for New Zealand's have to be 3 months old and have to be at least 6 pounds. Juniors, either sex, cannot be over 9 pounds to be a junior, or you have to move them up to 6'8". The 6'8s, they're no minimum weight other than the 6 pounds, which isn't going to happen. And the max weight is their ideal weight. So for bucks, the ideal weight is 10, so they can't be over 10. So 6'8" bucks cannot be over 10 pounds, they'll have to be a senior. 6'8" does cannot be over 11, their ideal weight is 11. So a 6'8" doe must be moved up to a senior if she's over 11. And once they're seniors, they have to meet senior weight. And for bucks, that's minimum 9 pounds, maximum 11, ideal 10. For does, that's minimum 10 pounds, maximum 12 pounds, ideal 11. So your senior does must be 10, your senior bucks must be 9. I hope that helped you out, and anyone that didn't know your weights, now you do. And something to think about when you're breeding and trying to fit everything in the right class. There's all kinds of things to think about to try to, you know, maximize your what you can get out of it. But I hope this video helped, and it's pretty much all him. I was just really talking about it. So alright guys, thanks a lot.